is going on, you guys? My name is Rayge, and we are back today to unpack Marvel Strike Force's newest character in STARBRAND here. Finally joined the game with his offers, but as well his red stars that we are going to be opening today. So if you guys recall, he is the next member that's going to be joining this new out-of-time team, slotted in for the war meta, but we're already seeing a wide variety of options on how this team can be strategically placed in the game, especially with their defensive prowess in multiple game modes. So first and foremost, STARBRAND, he's really known as kind of the ancestral and ancient version of Hulk. Not related by any means, but it's just kind of the way that they're built very similarly. You'll see kind of how he's hitting. He's delivering hard attacks and finishing assault with additional abilities around stealth and taunt to punish enemies with high damage and speed. It's going to synergize, interestingly enough, with this team that's already defensively minded as well. Don't forget, we also have Cosmic Ghost Rider rounding out the rest of the team, likely the next character to join this team. He also implies this immunity to all of his out-of-time allies, so he's going to give them some extra survivability in addition to his additional damage and drain. And it does look like there's going to be an upcoming event for his unlock. But more specifically, though, we do want to take advantage of the Red Star Orbs now that he's finally here and we get that promoted booster. Didn't say that actually in the inbox, but we know this is the case because we see STARBRAND's avatar here with the 7 red, as you can see. So it looks like the majority of my alliance has been trying to pull 7 reds anyway, so we're probably going to just follow suit here. And we're going to also take a look at his T4 abilities in terms of what we can preview in terms of upgrading and as we progress towards his unlock and so forth. So as you can see, 31 red star orbs here. You know, honestly, the red star economy is just so abundant right now. Let's just take advantage of this because this is also a great opportunity for us to upgrade a roster, and then we'll take a look at how each of his abilities are and which ones we should be pushing up and maximizing, especially if you're planning to unlock for the future meta. And remember, guys, STARBRAND is part of Out of Time. This is the new requirement for the next legendary coming up, so we don't know if there's any other teams yet confirmed, but just know that this team is going to have value in unlocking the next and first legendary of 2024. So let's get this party started. Hopefully we don't have to use too many of these reds. Oh my goodness, just on the first shot, wow. You know what, just for the sake of entertainment, we'll do another because that was kind of, you know, short and sweet, too much there. Got 7 red on Cloak there as a duplicate, so let's do another. But yeah, I wasn't expecting to get STARBRAND on the first draw, my goodness. Domino, I don't think I have her as a 7. Okay, that's an upgrade, there we go. Okay, and we'll call it a day. So that, as you can see, that's kind of why, you know, at this point, it's just so easy to get 7 reds now across the board. And so it's almost like just worth going for it if you guys have, you know, abundantly built up that resource, especially as we're, you know, pushing the progression system towards diamond and so forth. Okay, so STARBRAND, let's take a look at his kit and as well assess preemptively what potential ISO-8s can be utilized while also being mindful of the rest of the out-of-time team. So Ancient Fury is his basic ability here, attacking primary target for percentage damage. This ability also ignores taunt and stealth, which I really like, which means he can pretty much select whoever he wants to target with this basic. Also applies offense down later on when you bring it up. And then as well, the T4 here applies offense down to the enemy with the highest damage, ignoring the taunt and stealth. So this one's really good to just hone in and focus on, but also, wow, it's a pretty sizable uptick in damage for the basic here. So definitely a luxury basic, but let's take a look at the special and the ultimate before we make any judgments here on what we should be recommending. But level 6 can still get the job done, and then as well we have the offense down getting applied, but nothing crazy about this ability. That's a basic attack. Primal Star Strike is a special, so he's going to be applying slow to not just the primary but as well as adjacent targets. This ability also cannot be blocked or dodged. As we level this ability up, you can see it's kind of similar, a little different mechanic here, but this is going to be attacking the enemy with the highest speed and once again ignoring that taunt and stealth, which means he can really bypass everybody, right? And where he's going to get additional value is this ability becomes a speed bar reduction here, so reducing the speed bar per out of time and Black Panther on the primary target. So he's going to be able to rewind a character as he attacks, and it does look like it applies to the primary target. Slow is also going to get additionally applied to the highest speed, ignoring taunt and stealth once again. And what I really like about this T4, the 15% for all secondary targets. So he can really, it's almost like a Lady Deathstrike special ability where he can rewind the turn meter of all the enemies affected. So for that reason, this special is definitely something we should put some attention on, just because anytime we're dealing with turn meter and speed, it's going to have some value for sure. And definitely with this character, it can be potent and making sure that our team obviously has that turn meter advantage. Ultimate ability, Primeval Wrath. So with this ability, he's attacking primary and adjacent targets for some pretty sizable damage. And once again, ignoring that taunt and stealth mechanic, and this attacks does target the most injured enemy, so it's really good for kind of finishing off the enemy that you want to hone in on. Enemies also killed by this attack cannot be revived. It's not dodgeable or counterattacked. And in war, this actually does ignore defense up as well, so completely shreds through the defense buff if that's even active. It turns into a stun as well on the primary target when you bring it to level 4, and as well the ability to flip all positives into negatives, so completely crippling the primary and the secondary target. So pretty devastating there. It can be, you know, at least a maximum of 3 or 4 enemies depending on how it's kind of grouped together. And then finally, there's a +1 stun that's actually applied to the most injured enemy. So you could be targeting one enemy, and then with this ability, if it's not the most, if it's not the weakest enemy on the paper here, you can potentially stun up, add an additional stun. So just something to be mindful of here. But I think with how this is kind of given, it always does attack the most injured enemies. So it always minimum of 2 turn stun, which is really nice to have. And again, the flipping and as well turning all the positives and the negatives to completely cripple that weakened target that you're aiming for. So definitely a powerful ability. Special and ultimate make the most sense for upgrading just because of that extra value add. And look at the boost in damage too, 200%. Lastly, with the T4 here, Primordial Star, gaining additional increase here in HP and crit chance, kind of similar to what we see with the Out of Time. They're really independent of each other, which is nice. But this is kind of where we see some of the value now coming into war when you are planning to bring this character specifically into that war setting. So in war, he's going to be gaining a significant uptick here in HP and additional crit chance per Out of Time and Black Panther 1 million ally. They're also going to be gaining additional 30% drain, so giving them kind of a mechanic there to heal themselves. Even though the synergy of both Captain America and Carter is going to make this team a very, very tanky team with sustain already, but this is just puts them over, honestly. They're going to be gaining additional 30% in damage. And then lastly, with the T4 here, on spawn, they gain immunity, as well in war specifically, the max barrier of all enemies does get lowered as well. I don't know how notable that's going to be, but I really do like the immunity because it means at the very beginning anyways, they're going to have some natural protection. But more specifically, what I like about STARBRAND is the fact that he adds a bunch of mechanics involved with this team, right? 30% uptick in damage, 30% drain, and as well a 30% HP boost, especially if you're using them in war, right? So it's pretty big. So yeah, it's a big value add here for sure. I think the T4 here only makes sense if you're really planning to bring them into war. Otherwise, I do like how the immunity does apply itself outside of war as well. So you can definitely have value outside of the game setting, and for instance, like Raid or Cosmic Crucible, Blitzing, and so forth. Even arena character potentially. We'll see if this character makes it into the arena front, but it's just so congested right now with the powerful characters that we're seeing and the different synergies, especially synergizing with Black Knight. So there you guys have it. This is the T4 recommendations. I think the special, ultimate, and the passives do make the most sense, as we've seen with the newer characters. Basic, I don't know. I'm not feeling it, to be honest, especially with T4 being such a heavy resource to maintain right now. But for that reason, guys, you need to really think about what the other ISO-8s are on the team, right? Black Knight likely being a fortifier, Captain America still, and Carter being both kind of healer / fortifier. So STARBRAND may be one of the few characters that you can utilize a striker, right? We also have we also have Cosmic Ghost Rider also joining, so Frank Castle version of the Ghost Rider. Maybe potentially both of them could be ISO-8 strikers, right? For that reason, it's potential here because we want someone to be taking advantage of obviously the different mechanics involved with the vulnerable. So that could definitely be a potential. And what I do like is if he has the striker, he's going to be applying the offense down, obviously, but as well as the secondary damage here. So I think a raider or a striker probably makes the most sense. So that way he can add some additional damage, because that's really what he's known for, especially with him being a brawler character. But let me know anything in the comments below, guys. It's all ultimately always going to be dependent upon your team synergy. But I'm not liking how there's not really a clear striker. So STARBRAND and Cosmic Ghost Rider may be the answer for that, to take advantage of the vulnerables that are around. So thank you for your time as always, you guys. Do appreciate hearing back from you all. We have Source Ally coming out, and we now have Black Knight's event being live. So definitely be mindful of that as we're going to head towards his unlock here, free to play in the community. So thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.